Today, I want to show you something really special. It's something I've been working on over the last few years. It's our latest product, and it's a focal reducer or speed booster for DSMC2 cameras. It's got a 0.71 times optic, comes in either an EF or PL mount, fully electronic, and has the best calibration system to ever exist on any focal reducer. And we're calling it the Reduxa R2. So this video is where we are right now, and also what we plan with the campaign in launching it. First off, and arguably the most important part of any focal reducer, is the optic. After asking our community which lens they'd like to have, like what type of focal reduction they'd like to have, most people said 0.71 times, which makes sense because it's the best balance between speed and coverage, giving you one stop of light. In the Reduxa R2, we've used a Viltrox optic. But why did we choose this optic over a Metabones optic? The first thing is fitment. Metabones has to sit slightly off center to fit in the DSMC2 camera, which obviously isn't ideal because the optic is designed to sit perfectly central to the sensor. So the Viltrox has a slightly smaller physical diameter, not the glass, but the actual metal optic enclosure. And that means the Viltrox can sit perfectly central to the sensor. The Viltrox has the same lens design as Metabones. Both the Metabones and the Viltrox lenses use 5 elements in 4 groups and use the exact same optical layout. For me, the deciding factor really came down to the lens flares. In particular, the Viltrox optic had very kind of natural looking lens flares. In a way, the Metabones ones felt kind of a bit more clinical, and I really liked the way the Viltrox looked. So we're building the OLPF into our focal reducer mount. So we've reverse engineered a red standard OLPF, and the benefits of doing this way is that we can match our filter stack thickness to the Viltrox exact requirements. This is a whole topic in itself. Brian Caldwell, the Metabones original optic designer, did a whole article on this, which I'll link to below, and basically goes into specifics of why getting this right is really important. You have full frame coverage at Super 35 crop factors on all DSMC2 cameras, excluding Raven. It is looking like it's covering a little bit wider, but we need to test this further before we publish the final figures. We'll of course add this to our coverage calculator, where you'll be able to see the full coverage on any camera. It's also worth mentioning here that the optic does give one full stop of extra light, which means clean alone light, especially on cameras like Dragon that are like notoriously light hungry. And on cameras like Gemini that are designed for low light, your low light ISO native 1600, the speed booster will give it equivalent of 3200 ISO. So this is probably the most exciting bit for me in our Reduxa focal reducer. We have manual calibration built into the mount. So this is a high torque worm gear linked directly to the optic. Basically what it means is that the Reduxa can be perfectly calibrated before shipping, and usually Metabones, Viltrox, Kipon all do this kind of from factory, and they use specialist calibrating tools to do that. But the downside of doing that is that you can never change it down the line easily or kind of reliably. But with our design, you can easily calibrate the optic while on camera, if required. The calibration we set it to is the same as any other focal reducer on the market, but in the real world, you have lenses that will fall out of calibration. And so wouldn't it be cool if you could really easily calibrate your exact lens to your exact camera at the turn of a screw? This technically hasn't ever been done on focal reducers before, so we need a name for it, and we're calling it Focal Shift. This speed booster will come in both EF and PL mounts. These are the 2 most common mounts, and they also allow for the optic to work correctly. We will offer the EF mount with full electronic communication from lens to camera, so you can control aperture, focus, anything you could on a normal red Canon EF mount. The requirement, however, for PL mount, even though technically we can get it to work, we're not going to offer that in electronic, just to offer it at a lower price point without the electronic communication. We've designed our focal reducer to have 0 movement. So no one wants a wobbly lens. So our locking ring securely locks your lens to your camera. You can just rotate it clockwise, and that clamps the lens down And we've added this knurled ring, so it's really easy to kind of grip in gloves or just with your bare hands. So the Reduxa R2 will only be available for purchase if we can hit a minimum order quantity. We've had loads of interest in this mount over the last couple of years, so hopefully we'll hit that no problem. This campaign start date is the 10th of February, and it will run for 30 days. And during this time, you'll be able to buy an EF Reduxa unit for $1,295 and a PL Reduxa unit for $1,195, which is around a third off the retail price, which will also be around $1,750. Now, whilst that is the early bird price, on the 6th of January, we're opening something called VIP Access. So getting a VIP Access costs $30, but it means you'll have the option to buy the Reduxa R2 at launch for $200 less than the price that will be available for standard early bird pledges. That comes to a $995 purchase price for PL and a $1,095 price for EF. There are only 100 of these VIP spots available, so please do get a spot quickly when they're launched on the 6th of Jan. Our campaign goal is $100,000 to make this into a reality, so that's around 100 units. So please do consider sharing with your filmmaker communities if you'd like to see this product come to life. If you have any questions, come over to our community pages where we'll be sharing lots of updates about the development around our Reduxa R2, and also sign up to our newsletter, which is in the description, to kind of get the latest updates whenever key dates go live.